pretty much set right now as to what I want and what I need. I can do pretty much anything I want to do with these pedals here. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but this is kind of the jack of all trades pedal. We'll go over that in a minute. But so let me start here. This is the foot switch to my Renegade. It's an Ignited Renegade 65 watt head and 2x12 cabinet. And pretty self-explanatory. Channel, a switch, turns the effects loop on and off, turns reverb on and off, and this is, it has a master volume, a second one, so you can set for like a solo boost, turns it on and off. And these switches right here are pretty cool. You just can set what these switches do. So if you have this set to both, this controls the effects loop for both channels, or you can set it to just control it for channel 1 or channel 2. Same thing for this. You can set it to control reverb for channel 1, 2, or both, and same thing for the main. So that's that. I'll get a shot of the amp in a minute and run you through its switches. But that's that. Then right to left here we have an expression pedal for the M5, and I'll cover what that does more in a moment. We have the Dunlop Crybaby wah-wah, which will be replaced with the Vox 847 pretty soon. This is the obviously Ernie Ball volume pedal. It's my favorite volume pedal. I just love the taper on these things. It's a really smooth taper. Some volume pedals, it seems like it goes from 0 to 100 really quick, where this has a very smooth taper. And you know, which comes in handy if you're doing swells, which obviously if you're doing modern worship music, you do a lot of. Here we have the Line 6 M5. This is the baby of the M9, M13 line. It's a single pedal, single effect, one effect at one time, and but it has all the effects that the other has. So this is like my jack of all trades pedal. Because when I started building my analog board again, because I've been running the modeling stuff for a while, and I sold my Axe effects and all that to go back to analog. You know, I started budgeting my pedals out, and you know, I had all these boutique, you know, this boutique trim pedal that was like $350. You know, this boutique vibe pedal, univibe pedal that was like, you know, $200 and something, and all this stuff. And I realized I had set aside like $700 or $800 of my budget on these pedals that I would rarely use. I mean, I like having them, I like playing with them, but you know, in a worship service, I get to use that stuff just once in a blue moon. And so I really thought it was kind of ignorant to spend that kind of money on something that wasn't absolutely necessary. So I picked one of these up, and like I said, it has all the effects that the other M series has. And you can have 24 presets, which you access by pressing both at one time, and then you can scroll down through 24 presets to what you want. So I mean, I have it set up for lots of different things. I mean, it can cover all of the ground that I wanted those other pedals to cover, and to be honest with you, especially live, you just don't hear the difference. Somebody may tell you they do. I'm calling bull on that, because just in a band, in a mix setting, live, and everything's rocking, you don't hear the difference between it. So you know, all the cool reverbs and delays, the pattern tremolo, the univibe, phaser, OD pedals, all the stuff that, you know, the M series does well in this one little box. And the expression pedal can control any parameter or any combination of parameters in the unit. You set the toe down level and the heel down level, and then you can go back and forth, but you can do that for every parameter on the deal. So like for instance, I have this particle verb setting, which is a reverb that has this kind of almost like a synth pad that swells behind it based off what chords you're playing. And I'm using that in front of my amp to turn my guitar almost into a to like a synth keyboard sound sometimes, to fill up the empty spots in youth worship, because we don't have a keyboard player right now. And so what I have this set to do is it controls the mix. So toe down, the mix is 100%, and all you hear is that pad sound coming from this. You don't hear my guitar notes at all. Then I can start rocking the pedal back and get any amount of blend I want, from almost all guitar to no guitar. And you can do this on any parameter, on any effect. You know, on a delay, you could set it where it controls the mix of the delay or the repeats, or even the subdivision of the repeats. Overdrive, you could set drive level, gain level, you know, EQ. Like I said, you go through and you can set the toe down setting and the heel down setting for each one, and as you move it, it will change all 3 or 4 parameters at one time. So it's very cool. You know, this has been a a lifesaver little unit for me. Moving on, these two pedals are made by a company, CMAT Mods. You can check them out at www.cmatmods.com. They make great pedals for really reasonable prices. This is two of their Overdrive pedals. This is the Butter Overdrive and the Signa Drive. The Butter is a really low gain, transparent OD. If I was going to compare it to something like the Love Pedal OD, Amp 11, I'm sorry, or like the Tim pedal, it just sounds like more of your amp. I know this looks like a high drive setting, but like I said, it's super low gain. And what it's great at is just pushing your amp a little more and sounding like more of your amp. So, I mean, I can't tell you how much I love this pedal. If I could get by with just this pedal and my volume control if I had to, which is something I never thought I would say, but it's true. Love this pedal. This is a Signa Drive, a little bit higher gain, but not high gain at all. It's still an overdrive pedal, not distortion. Has a toggle switch here that goes from a really compressed kind of Marshall in a box setting to a more open, lower gain setting to a probably, I guess, a middle of the two. It's higher gain and more compressed than the middle switch, but nothing close to what's the bottom. So love these pedals. Check out CMAT Mods if you get a chance. I think both these pedals brand new are less than $140, which if you know how much boutique overdrive pedals cost, you know that's quite a deal. Moving on, Strymon Timeline. If you play guitar and like delay pedals, you know what this is. It is the mother of all delay pedals. It does everything and anything you could ever imagine. Has I think 99 or 100 banks of presets, 2 presets per bank, A and B. Then you just push it down. Those two together to go down. These two together to go up. And I mean, it does everything. It has 16 different delay machines built in. A digital tape, digital bucket delay, which is kind of like a memory man. Digital, dual pattern, reverse delay, ice, which adds notes at different intervals. After a delay, you can set it for octaves for these really cool shimmer effects, or you know, any other interval you decide. Just you can get as crazy as you want to. A ducking delay, auto swell, trim delay, filter, and lo-fi. Again, this is way too much to go into in just an overview. I'm going to demo all these pedals one at a time later, but this is an amazing machine that I have barely scratched the surface of, and I will never need another delay pedal. This is the TC Electronic Hall of Fame Reverb. It's one of their tone print pedals, which means you can hook it up USB to the computer and download like artist presets. It also allows you to download settings that aren't available just from the front here. And the one I've downloaded is called the Room with a View, or Huge Room with a View or something. It's just a huge room reverb with modulation. And I mean, seriously, you know, you can't get the effects much higher than this, or it will go on forever. But when you're doing like swells, especially with, you know, your delay volume pedal, with this, I mean, it's just, it's heaven. It's a great sounding reverb pedal. Now, eventually, I do want to get an Eventide Space, but I'm more than happy with this right now, because really all I use reverb for is those kind of like ambient swell moments. And yeah, I'm not a huge reverb guy, so this is more than doing the job right now. So that's the pedal board. The actual board is a Trailer Trash 18 by 30. Great board. I love it. I love it. Very clean looking. This is still kind of a mess. I need to get a power supply. I'm running everything off of it at one spot, and I need to get some patch cables, some George L's or Planet Waves, because I ran out. And as you can see, I've had to rig up a about an 8-foot instrument cable and coil it up to connect my timeline to my Hall of Fame. Anyway, like I said, I'll go through and demo this at a later date, but I just thought I would give you a rundown of my rig. Now let's take a look at the amp. Okay, here's the amp. Like I said, Ignator, Renegade 65 watt head. Left to right, this is your cleaner channel, although it can get dirty if you want it to, and this is your drive channel. Controls are identical for each. Have your gain, bass, middle, treble, tube mix, and volume. The tube mix on these amps, if you know Ignator at all, the power section has 2 6L6 tubes and 2 EL34. 6L6, obviously Fenderish, more American type tone. EL34 is what Marshalls use, so you get a little bit more British flavor. That's what I prefer. You'll see my tube mix at about 3 o'clock on both channels towards the EL34 side. And it's a pretty subtle difference, but especially at volumes, you really do hear the difference. The EL34 side is a little more raw, 606 is a little more smooth, you know, just like the Fender and Marshall would be. The switches are identical on both channels. You have a switch to go between 18 watts and 65 watts. Obviously the 18 watts will get you a little more power section breakup, a little more sag, whereas the 65 watts is going to have a little more headroom and be a little cleaner. I keep both channels at 18 watts. If I was playing like insanely loud, I may move it to 65 watt, but I prefer pushing the tube section a little harder, so that's where I'm at. The tight and deep switch, what this is, it's a pre-EQ kind of bass control. It cuts the bass frequencies that are coming in from your guitar at a certain level, so it tightens up the signal, hence the term tight, before it hits the EQ section. So it's really interactive. Like, you know, I have my bass kind of high right now because I have the tight switch on, because I prefer that sound as to having the deep switch on and the bass cranked off. I just like a little bit tighter focus sound. So that's what it is. Bright and normal is pretty self-explanatory. You know, and it's different tones you have to experiment with, because with the normal switch down, you know, the treble crank, it sounds different than your treble backed off and your bright switch on. It's a different flavor, so you have to decide what you like. But I prefer tight and bright on both channels. So I pretty much have that set up the same. Over here you have individual reverb for channel 1 and channel 2. You have density, which is kind of a power amp section low end control, and presence, which is a power amp section kind of high end control. I have the density at noon. I have the presence backed off a little bit just because my ears are always sensitive to presence, and I don't like shrill or you know, really cutting in a bad way tones. So that I have that backed off to about, I guess, 10 o'clock. And then of course I'm at home, so I have the master 1 and 2 cranked down pretty low because I can't blow my family away. But that's the amp. That's the way it's set. Sounds great. And again, I'll demo this at a later date and get it up on YouTube. As far as guitars, I run a Fender Highway 1 Strat, Fender Highway 1 Tele, a Gretsch Jet, and then the guitars that I've used in the videos up to this point have been my 2 ESPs. One's an ESP Eclipse, just a great Les Paul type guitar, and the other is the ESP X-Tone, which is a semi-hollow with a Bigsby. Probably my favorite guitar. I just love it. It's kind of funky looking, sounds great, and covers a lot of ground. And then I have an Ibanez shredder that I like to pull out and play every now and then. But anyway, that's the rig right now. Like I said, I will be demoing all this stuff, you know, one at a time as soon as possible. But that's kind of the overview, give you an idea of what I'm working with. So hope you enjoy it. See you next time.